Sorry about that. Okay, like I was saying, I feel like some people need to be called out. Um, and this is the problem I have with it. So I noticed that a lot of white guys, they have these somewhat strange preferences for Asian women, and um, more than they do for other races. And the reason why it bothers me is because they objectify Asian women. Now, it's okay to have preference, uh, it's okay to have a preference for a race, regardless of what that race is, but it's not okay to stereotype that race and get mad when that race isn't who you want them to be or expect them to be. And things of that sort. It's not okay to just overgeneralize and over sexualize that race, and that's what I feel like a lot of white guys are doing. They don't want to admit it, but that's really what they're doing. Um, it's really degrading because they're not really treating Asian women as people. They're just treating them like objects for exotic reasons and whatnot. And it's also pretty racist and and sexist as well. So they think that in their minds they think that Asian women are easy and they're submissive and they love to please men and that's just not true. You um, I don't know where they got that from, but it's just dumb. And they're only using these women to validate their whiteness because their masculinity is so fragile that this is what they have to resort to. They're 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 so insecure about their race, about their whiteness, that they have to resort to these tactics. And it's sad because um, that's what white people do. They tear down other races so they can make themselves feel better. Um, and again, you know, it doesn't matter if a white person dates an Asian person, and that doesn't make the white person not racist because white slave owners, they raped black slaves. They had sex with black slaves, and they were still racist. So let's cut the bull. Just because you date someone of a different race, just because you have sex with them, just because you do this and that for them, it does not mean that you're not a racist. You know, positive racism or negative racism, it's still racism. You know, so that's the issue I have with it. And so when Asian women don't submit, then they get mad. So it's just so stupid. White men, it's all good when they get all the attention from Asian women and they get all the love and whatnot and you know kisses or whatever you have it. But But then those same white men get mad when the Asian women choose to marry people of color. When those same Asian women do the opposite of what they want, then they start going off and they start going on rants and calling her a traitor to her race and all this crap. And this is so hypocritical. It's such a double standard. And if you don't believe me, you can just check how look how white people treat them when they don't conform to their stereotypes. You know, you can find plenty of people on YouTube who tell the stories of, uh, you know, them dating like this Asian woman dating people of other races, and they get so many hate comments from white people over it. They get they get bashed, they get everything. So that's how you know white people are insecure about their masculinity, and they're insecure about themselves and uh, and about them as a race. So um, that's just how it is. People are just so brainwashed into believing that Asian women are like this or like that when they're really not. You know, you see in Hollywood, it's always the Asians, the Asian women who go for um, white men, and the Asian men, they are just pushed to the side, and it's like they're the villains. Like, if I don't know if you saw the movie Wolverine, the one where he goes to Japan, that's a great example. Like, Wolverine just has sex with Asian women there, and they, you know, for apparently no reason. And meanwhile, he's fighting all the Asian guys, and they're all getting it on and whatnot. And it's just so like that's just straight up racist and really stereotypical. Like you're not really gonna get a real relationship from that mess. Like if you go to Japan, go to China or other Asian countries, and you'll realize that that's not really the way to go. You know, like no girl, no girl is gonna fall for you just because you're white or just because you're an American. That's the thing about these Westerners. They're so arrogant. They think that they can just go to any land they want, go to any country they want, and people will fall for them just because they're Western or whatever, and they speak English. And it doesn't work that way. Like the truth is that Asian women really don't need you. Like they really don't. They're not and a lot of them like in China or Japan, they have high standards of a guy. Some of them want him to have a career, or good income, good education, good morals, similar culture, stuff like that. So, um, so there's no using your whiteness to get women like that. And which brings me to my next point is that whites really don't care about Asian people. They don't pay attention to what goes on in America in regards to their race. They don't support their struggles and racism, discrimination. Like look at all the Asians um, who got mistreated in Harvard. There was over a personality test, um, they got scored lower. Their scores were lower compared to other races, um, and there's a bunch of other cases where they are pretty much forced to assimilate um, into white America and stuff like that. So I mean, where's the support? Where's the support from white people? They don't vote for equality and justice. They don't donate or try to make things better for Asian Americans as a whole. Why? Because it doesn't affect them. They're white, so of course they're not going to get it. And on the contrary, they go around and bashing Asian men. Look at all the white dudes cracking small penis jokes on Asian men and talk about how unmanly they are, and talk about how um, make fun of their eyes, make fun of a bunch of stuff, and like you rarely see them support each other. But these are the same white guys who appropriate Asian cultures and then they want to promote the white savior complex and uh, and make people believe that they're better than everybody else because they're white and because they're from this country and white people are just so full of it, you know. So this doesn't apply to all white men, and there's no denying that there's some white men who genuinely do love Asian girls and they're not racist. But I noticed that these kinds of people they don't bring up race, and if they do, then they validate the struggles that Asian people face. So they're just straight up honest with them, and they support them in their struggles with racism. But again, that doesn't excuse the white men who are racist in any way. So, um, yeah, there you have it. That's my thoughts on it. I feel like we should just stop with the stereotypes and try to like make things better for everybody and not put people in these boxes that they don't belong in, and call white people out because they think that, and I've seen a bunch of them. They think that just because they marry an Asian that they have exclusive rights to the Asian culture and everything about it, and they just culturally appropriate because they're white. And um, just bullcrap. Like, so if you call them out, then their true colors will show, and then they'll start getting defensive and start trying to justify their actions and whatnot, and stuff like that. Like, um, it's very clear to see that the white people are like that. Actions speak louder than words. So if they don't get what they want, then they'll start throwing a tantrum because of how childish they are. That's how childish white people can be. So that's all I gotta say on the subject. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you later.